Here we're going to be tying my favorite fly. This is a Soft Hackle Pheasant Tail. This hands down has caught more trout for me all around the United States than any other fly out there. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use some red thread and we're going to tie in near the eye of the hook. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in some fine copper wire. I'm going to tie this down the entire length of the hook. And I do this just to give me a nice smooth base to wrap my next material, which will be 4 to 5 strands of pheasant tail. And I'm going to tie those in with the tips, like so, really fine tips. I'm just going to tie those right in at the back. Then I'm going to take my thread forward, keeping everything nice and smooth, and I'm going to stop with a little bit of room up there by the eye. Now I'm going to take that pheasant tail and I'm going to wrap it around that hook. Don't worry if one of them breaks, that happens from time to time. What we're going to do is wrap some wire on it and that'll lock everything down. And once I'm finished there, I'm just going to capture it. You can trim out all the extra. Then I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to counter wrap it, which means I go the opposite way that I went with that pheasant tail. And what this does is it locks all those fibers in. So if one of them breaks or comes undone, the whole thing won't come unraveled. And then I capture that, tie it off, make sure it's nice and secure. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in some Peacock, a piece of Herl. And for a smaller one like this, I just use one strand of Herl. You can use a couple if you so please. This one's fighting me a little. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this around just like I did the pheasant tail. Gotta be real careful with this stuff so it doesn't break. I'm going to wrap up towards the eye. I'm not going to go all the way. I'm going to leave a little bit of room, like so. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in my partridge, which will be the soft hackle portion of things. Now, it's very important to prep your feather. So what I've done with this feather here is I've taken the bottom part of the stem and I've stripped off all the fluff, so I just have the partridge fibers. And then what I do is I stroke all the fibers backwards so I can tie it in at the tip. Now you can see this feather is curved. I want that curve to be facing backwards just like so. I don't want it to be facing forward like that. It'll look like a fuzzy spider if I do it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this feather in laying on the hook. I'm going to tie it in by that really fine tip just like so, so it lays down on the fly. And I'm going to get in there and get rid of those extra pieces. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this, I'm going to wrap it around the fly, and what I can do is I can twist this feather one way or the other to make it go the way that I want it to. So all I'm going to do is just wrap it around and I'll kind of stroke everything back. With every wrap, like so, forcing it all backwards. It only takes like 2 wraps. You don't want to overdo it. Now once I've done those 2 wraps, I take it and I capture it. Get in there and cut the stem out. Now it looks kind of scraggly right now, but all we have to do is stroke all those fibers backwards. Now I'm just going to wrap back up on them. Kind of make sure to get them all. And this is probably the trickiest part of the fly right here, is getting all those fibers locked down. Once you've gotten them, you can clean up that head a little. Be careful not to overdo it. Just like so. And that is basically a pheasant tail soft hackle, and all you have to do to finish it is whip finish. Just like that. That's all there is to it. Very easy fly to tie once you figure out how to work with that partridge.